What's up? Welcome to episode 10 of What's Up with Nitro Dave and John today.
How do you say 10 in Spanish?
I don't know.
Yeah, I gotta work on that. I've been here almost a year and I don't know how to speak Spanish yet.
You're not even going to answer. What is it?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
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 Yeah.
Like yes, but it's yes?
Yes. Kind of. Yeah.
Okay, well, at least you knew the
Yeah.
answer. I thought for sure you were going to have the answer if you're going to hit us
I know
with a question.
1, 2, 3, that's about it.
Yeah, you can't hit us with a question and not have the answer.
Yeah. I was hoping to learn something.
So, we got a special guest today.
Yeah, not me.
Yeah. We got Ryan Martin,
Yeah.
the Street Outlaw.
Yeah.
So,
Man.
he will be on in about 15 minutes, right? So we're going to go through the usual routine of who won what and what events are coming up.
Yep.
For you guys that are tuning in for the first time, 11 o'clock Central Standard Time, every Wednesday, the WAZZUP show right here at Nitrous Outlet.
Yep.
Right? So we do anything from talking about events that are coming up, results of our racers, technical tips,
Yeah.
walk arounds the shops to show what we got going on.
Yep.
And today, because we have Ryan on the show, we're not going to do a technical tip. We're not going to walk around the shop. We're just going to hang out here in the office and talk some racing.
Yep.
So, before we go into this, I got to talk about our specials. First of all, if you have not price shopped us online versus our competitor, I dare you to do it now. First of the year, we did a price adjustment, and about 40% of our prices went down, a significant amount. And that's the difference of us becoming more in tune with what it costs us to produce stuff and more efficient out in the warehouse to build it. So not only do you get better customer service, knowledgeable tech service, and a quality product, you're going to get it at a cheaper cost. So definitely compare our prices to our competitors. On top of that, we got some specials going.
Yep.
For the month of April. Free shipping over $250.
Yes.
10% off plumbing hardware. Plumbing hardware is like what?
Like the hard lines and stuff to build direct ports.
Okay, distribution blocks.
Anything like that you use to build a system for.
Okay. And then 10% off purge kits.
Yes, sir.
So you can go psst, psst.
And we also have 4% off Pro Maxes.
Oh, yeah?
Yep.
That's a heck of a deal.
It's still on the killer deal.
Okay, and you can turn around and buy plug-and-play harness for that Pro Mat. So you don't
Make
have
it
to
so
be
easy.
any good at wiring. We've already done it for you.
Yeah, we got the hard part done already.
Yeah, so and the plug-and-play harness controls all the accessories from dedicated fuel system to bottle heaters to remote openers.
And it's in a pretty wire loom too.
Yeah, it is. Roger does a good job of looming that thing up.
Yeah.
Keep it nice and sexy. You can have a professional installation right there in your gravel driveway.
By yourself.
Right? Yep, don't have to pay anybody to do it. Just plug and play it.
Yep.
So, a lot of racing this weekend.
Yeah.
A lot.
Good racing.
Huh?
Good racing.
A big mix, huh?
Yeah.
So, you want to go over who won what?
So we had H-Town Hitters in Houston Motorsports Park. Scotty Kruk had won 530 class. And then Charlie Strickland had made the semis in the 490 class. He won by .003. Very tight race.
Really?
Yeah.
So, he lost by .003.
Yes.
Okay. So, he went out in the finals. Semifinals.
Yes, sir.
Yep. Man, Charlie's another one to watch.
Yeah. He had the truck
that truck's killer. And then, let's see, Outlaw 10-5 at Centerville Dragway.
Patrick Lewis won.
Patrick Lewis.
Yeah.
For you guys that don't know who Patrick is, whenever I flip stitch, Patrick Lewis is the one I hit.
Really?
Yeah, you didn't know that?
I didn't know that.
That's how me and Patrick became friends. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
He was in the right lane, and I slid from like the 330 all the way past the 8th mile on the roof. And whenever I got out of the truck, he goes, he checked on me, and he goes, I don't think my car's hurt too bad. And I was like, I hit your car.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, I had no clue I hit his
I drove 8 hours to watch you flip the truck.
First pass. That's skill right there. So, and then there was a Cash Days race in DFW.
Yeah, I like that.
And Cody Folsom took the win over Nathan Wheeler, which we had on the show last week. And I don't know if you've been seeing all this back and forth between them on the internet, but
I see Nathan does a lot of posting about it, but I haven't seen
oh yeah,
the full story yet.
Oh yeah, so like they're all going back and forth right now, throwing elbows and drop kicks and.
They're getting salty.
Yeah, I hope it's all in good fun. I haven't really been able to read in depth, but there's definitely a lot of crap talking going on there. And I guess that all, Nathan won all-wheel drive versus rear-wheel drive of Cletus's race.
Yeah.
And so that's where all the shit talking back and forth really originated from. And then they went to Cash Days this weekend, and it has filled over.
Yeah.
So it's all over social media. Like they're taking constant digs at each other right now. North Florida Motorplex.
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with North Florida Motorplex.
I've never been there either.
Yeah, I didn't even. So that's cool. That's a new track I wasn't aware of. Gary Bunch. Gary Bunch is a longtime customer of ours, and so you said he hadn't been out since October.
Yeah. Yeah. He said wasn't there racing. He hasn't raced since October.
Wow.
That's his first time out with it.
And he took second place in the 550 class. So you see what's happening there. There's a lot of index style. It's not bracket racing, but there's a cap on it. So you got right there. You're starting at 550. Obviously, there's 530, and then there's 490, and then there's 450, right? Which is the Clash of the Titans ish. And then oh my gosh, my mind just went blank. I'll think of it here in a minute.
420s?
Yes, he's putting on 420. I want to say his name. Longtime customer.
Dave?
Yes.
Pierce.
Pierce. Good job. Yes, Dave Pierce putting on the 420. So, man, if you don't have somewhere to fit in, you're not racing, right? And then we can go into small tire where you just run whatever fast you want to go, or big tire. I mean, there's so much. We're so blessed right now to have so many different types of racing. So, Rockingham Dragway.
Sick at the Rock.
James Borthorn Jr. won first place as the fastest nitrous car.
Yes, sir.
And he was on our list last week.
Yeah, that's my partner from back home, like I told you. He does work.
So what did he win last week?
So last week he had one, man, that was...
threw you right in there, huh? Sucker punch.
Yeah.
All right, I'll come back to you on that one. And then it was the first race of Randy Kelly's Sunday service.
Yep.
And one of our guys took the win of that too, Rick Hilton.
Yep.
So Rick is kind of like, he's in the Belton area, so you might as well call him like our hometown, right?
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So, and then it was Hitman 484, no Tom. And that was in Montgomery International Dragway. I like that series. I don't know if you've really studied all the cars in that series, but there's some high quality cars, and there's some beautiful cars in that series, and they're fast. So, Herb Derula, is that how you say it?
That's how you say it.
Okay, so Herb Derula was driving Mario Johnson's car, and he won. What is that? Small block boost, 484 small block boost.
Yep.
Okay, so is there different classes for the 484, or is it just that's what it's called?
That's just what it's called.
So where did the boost come in? Where most of the cars are nitrous.
That's just what he requested as the name.
Yeah. Okay. So I didn't know that. Threw me for one there. All right. So there's a lot of upcoming events, though, huh?
Yep.
You want to give us the rundown on that?
All right. So let me get my paper out. So we got John Sears running his limited street class at Woodstock. In Woodstock at Edgewater Motorsports Park. It's outside Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Yeah, in Ohio.
So why don't they call it Woodstock? Is it like really woody,
that's
or
what it's called? Like the city, like Woodway and Waco.
Okay.
It's just outside of it, and that's just where it's at. So it's right outside Cincinnati.
Okay.
You have T&E Promotions presents Down Memory Lane at Texas Motorplex.
Yeah, and so Friday night, they have a private track rental. So for you guys that are needing some private testing, where not everybody's there, right? You can go in there and you can get in on this private track rental, and it's on T&E Promotions Facebook page. It's actually called TJ's. What is that called? What do they call it? Testing. or something like that.
I think so.
Eric, are you watching? So it's anyways, you can register for the private testing, and then Saturday they having an event. So Friday is testing, Saturday is racing.
Camp Wars too.
And that's a no prep race.
Yeah.
All right. So that's Paris drag strip.
Yeah. Paris, Texas.
Paris, Texas. And that's Matthew Harding's race?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
And then Rustin's race, Radio Bear Slayer in Monroe.
That's shaping up to be a really good race.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be good ice.
And it's like 10 days away. I seen the Facebook post today.
Yeah. 10 days away.
And that's a Twin City Raceway.
Yeah.
Is that the same race? We're going there for something else too.
No, that was that's where James Futch had his event earlier this year.
Okay. The Mr. Whipples.
Yeah.
Yep.
They have that one, and then I know Zoloft has a sticker on their car too of the Twin City.
Okay. So that's their home track.
Yeah.
Right. All right. That's the reason that name keeps jumping out at me.
In your head.
Yep. So, Streetcar Takeover.
Yeah.
Streetcar Takeover is Gainesville Raceway in Gainesville, Florida, and that's not this weekend, but next weekend. So, that's a stack of events.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to touch base real quick on the Clash of the Titans, right? So, our first race is Gainesville Raceway, Gainesville, Florida, the 450-ish, right? Mm-hmm. Oddly enough, we're just not getting the racer support there.
Yeah.
So all the other events are filling up. Even our May Streetcar Takeover race has 26 racers signed up.
That's pretty cool.
Already. We haven't even advertised it.
Yeah.
And the other ones are filled up. And then for like the Hood to Hood race, we got 46 racers signed up. So I don't know what's going on in Gainesville, but I did talk to Justin and Keith, and they're like, man, a lot of our small tire cars run around that. And there's a lot of racers here with that window of, we're just not reaching them. Our goal is to bring racers to the event, not show up and mooch off of their event, right? And we just haven't had that response there. So I'm going to do a last call, and if we don't get enough racers, then I'm just gonna X that event and move on to May, which still gives us 5 races for the point series. A lot of the areas down here, I mean, I reached out to probably 50 racers that are registered in the other races, and they're like, either my car's not ready or it's too far to travel.
Yeah, that's a far hike.
That is a far hike. So I wanted to keep all of our events down here in the southern region, originally, but I just didn't have that opportunity with some of the event promoters to allow us to jump into their event. So I decided to try the Gainesville deal, and I just don't have that reach to the right people. Yeah. I'm just not hitting it. So so anyways, today I'm going to post a last call for Gainesville by Friday. If we haven't got enough cars signed up, I'm gonna move on. Right.
Also, I need you to make me an admin on the Facebook page of that, because I want to do some better layout of some things for you.
Okay, you got to remind me today, and I'll do it. Perfect. All right, and so we'll post that today. If we get the the interaction, I think right now we only got like 4 or 5 cars signed up. And that's not even fun to race. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like we want to put on a show. It's going to be hard to put on a show whenever you only got 2 elimination passes. Yeah. That's not what we're about.
Test and tune.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love to see guys in the winner's circle, but I want to put on a show that's worth watching.
Oh yeah.
So, so if we don't have enough people ready, we'll just move on, and that's going to bring us to the May race, Streetcar Takeover, Texas Motorplex, May 30th and 31st. I mean, we've already literally. I guarantee you, as soon as I push it, we'll have full car count already. It's already there. And then I'm excited about this one because I've never been there. The Z-Max Dragway, Charlotte, North Carolina, June 26th and 28th. That's the 4-lane.
Yeah.
Right? So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. I never saw that before. Jess showed me that the other day.
Yeah.
4-lane racing.
And then right after that is Bodie's Grudge Bowl at US 60 Dragway in Hardingsburg, Kentucky, July 11th and 12th. And so I texted him yesterday, maybe a day before. My days are blended together, and I said, "Hey man, let's put on a practice tree shootout, and we'll take the shootout carts." And he's like, "Hell yeah!" So we still got to work out the details of that, but I think we're gonna put a practice tree shootout together for that. And I think I'm going to reach out to Ethan and see if he wants to put together a practice tree shootout for hood to hood as well.
You should do that at all your races.
Huh? Man, that's just too much work to carry 3 trailers.
A lot of people would like that.
It would, but I just can't can't do it. We're going to have the support trailer. We're going to have the race trailer, and then to have another. It's just too much money to have.
Driving. He said,
too much money there to pay for 3 fuels and 3 trips and all that stuff. But it would be cool.
Yeah.
It would be cool. And then. So we got hood to hood, which already has like 45, 46 cars. That's September 18th and 20th. Mm-hmm. That's originally that was just going to be our only event.
Yeah.
And so that was our start. And that's where we're like, you know what? And then I went off the deep end and added all these other events. That's going to be cool. Yes. So and then the year-end final is going to be at Flying H Drag Strip in Odessa, Missouri, October 24th and 25th. So that's another racetrack I've never been to.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to that. All those events got love. Like people were like excited about them. They're like, man, I can't wait to go to this track. I can't wait to do that. But then the Gainesville is just, where's my Florida guys?
Where you at?
Where are you guys at? Where's the love? So just not getting it. So let's flip the page here. And keep in mind the Clash of the Titans, 450-ish, is a point series. We'll have a championship at the end, right?
Double points?
Yeah. So the last race, good point, is double points. For you guys that aren't familiar with how points work, as you progress on in the elimination passes, you stack up points. The person with the most points at the end of the year wins, right? And you get 10 points just for showing up. So if you show up to the event and during qualifying you break, you still get 10 points to go towards the season.
Yeah.
So that's good. At least you get something for your efforts.
Yeah.
So we don't give a trophy for everything, but we're going to get points for showing up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but you have to you can't just show up and go, I'm here.
Yeah.
We got to see that you broke trying to go into eliminations, and you got to let us know immediately. Hey, I broke on my second qualifier, and immediately we'll give you those 10 points. So, all right. So, upcoming events. Where's the support trailer going to be at?
I think the next one is it'll be Gainesville.
Gainesville, if it happens.
Or C10s on.
That breaks my heart to even say if it happens. I feel like such a failure that.
Sorry, it was very last minute.
It was last minute. It was. I know, and I should have thought that through a little bit more. But man, come on, guys. Come on, Florida guys. Where you at? All right. So, and then we haven't went over into the May events. And we'll do that on the next show. We'll start breaking into the May events. There's a lot of May events.
Oh, yeah.
And our vending trailer will be at a lot of them. So, and our vending trailer, so this month will be at Gainesville. If it's fixed. I don't know if you know this, but we bent all 3 axles on the trailer and broke the frame.
Who's we?
Apparently, you can't pull these trailers fully loaded down at 95 miles an hour.
Who would have guessed that?
Yeah. So they're like, Dave, you're overloading the trailer. And I'm sitting there doing the math. I'm like, mother bottles are about 4,000 pounds. The nitrous bottle cart is about 1,000 pounds. And then we got the displays that are probably 200 or 300 pounds a piece. And then we got all that stuff up front. I still don't think we're overloading it. But then I got to think about coming through Louisiana at 95 miles an hour doing this. That's probably what bent it. So, Phil's trailer, Chad and those guys always got our back. Shout out to those guys because, I'm always a pain in the ass. Whenever I show up with something, I've ripped the whole side off of it, or it's never a quick, easy fix.
Yeah.
And
when you break something, you break it right.
Yeah, but they get it right. I texted him and he goes, "We got to order 7,000 pound axles." So it has 3 6,000 pounds, and we bent all 3 of them. And he goes, "We're gonna have to order 7,000 pound axles for it, and it's gonna take some time to get it." And I'm like, "Well, I won't take it to any event this month." And he goes, no, don't cancel nothing. I'm sending a driver right now to go get these axles from another location.
That's good customer service.
Dude, I'm telling you, they make sure that like we're taken
Yeah.
care of. And like I always tell him, nobody ever wants to admit that it may be their doings, right?
Yeah.
Like, but I'm very down to earth. I know I'm good at screwing stuff up.
Yeah.
So I'm like, dude, you tell me if we screwed something up, we screwed it up. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna argue with you on it. So, anyways, shout out to Phil's Trailers. So we're at that point, special
Yeah.
guest time. We have a very special guest today, Ryan Martin.
Yep.
So Ryan Martin, does he even really need an introduction?
Yeah.
If you're a racer and
Yeah,
you don't
don't
know
know
who
who
Ryan
it
Martin
is.
is,
You probably need to-
even if you're not into that type
Yeah.
of racing, you'd have to be underneath a rock.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but for you guys that don't know that are climbing out from underneath the rock, he's obviously a multi-time champion of Street Outlaws, No
Yeah.
Prep Kings, right? And he's going to talk to us kind of about what he's got going on with his race program, what he's doing this year, and the changes that's going on in between MPK to Speed Promotions.
Yeah.
Because some of that's a little
Curious to know
confusing
about
for,
that,
for
yeah.
us that don't have time to sit there and read the internet all day.
Yeah.
So we're ready for Ryan. Is he ready?
Yep, should be.
Can you hear us, Ryan?
What's up, Ryan?
Yes, sir. What's up, guys? How are y'all?
You got to give us a what's up.
What's up?
You got to put some energy. Stick your tongue out.
How y'all doing today?
Good. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, you bet, man.
So I know you got a busy schedule and you had to squeeze us in over there, but
Well, unfortunately, with us trying to make it to a test session and a small tire race and a big tire race in the next 2 weeks, you're right.
yeah,
But
that's a
that is
packed
okay.
schedule.
Yeah.
When's the testing trying to take place?
Well, we kind of got a debacle right now. So we've got, we're in Oklahoma City. We were headed to Flying H for a test session tomorrow and Friday. And it looks like we're getting rained out there. So now I'm scrambling, trying to figure out where else we can go. Everything's pretty close. Tulsa looks okay, but then, the weather looks hot. It looks windy. Not the greatest conditions for what we're trying to do, but it may be all we've got the only thing that we can do. So it's either that or drive 14 hours to Steele, Alabama. But just part of small problems, You shut that door.
So I was kind of wondering with the weather coming up in and out, and then going straight into the first event, how that would affect being able to test and get all the bugs worked out of a new product.
Yeah, I mean,
setup.
look, you're right. It's a very valid thing to worry about. So, sometimes us racers like to do things last minute. I don't know if you know that or not.
Right.
As
I'm
you've
guilty.
been overnighting me parts, you definitely know that. But we just have had so much stuff to do lately, man. We've been so busy doing other things that we kind of allotted this time to work on these cars, and of course they've taken a little longer than they're supposed to, and they always do. We know that every time we're going into it. And then we had a small tire race scheduled in North Florida that we've had scheduled for. It's been on the schedule for a month, so we knew about it. But you just kind of think like, oh, this will be no problem. I'll do this here, and then I'll come back and from Florida, and then the next week I'll turn around and I'll drive to Bakersfield, California. Uh, and while that's kind of our life, and that's what we've lived for the last, basically 10 years, that's kind of what we've been doing. It still sneaks up and bites you every now and then. You just don't. You just didn't plan quite right. And what I didn't plan for was enough time to deal with the weather.
Right. Well, you can't plan for that. Mother Nature's going to do what she wants.
Yeah, that's right. So we're gonna make it work. We're gonna pivot. I think we're gonna end up in Tulsa for a couple days, which is not ideal for how we wanted to test. But as long as we can get some runs in, you kind of hit the nail on the head. We got a new combo. I've got a Liberty in the car this year. I've never. I'm sure I can get the hang of it, but I've never driven a Liberty car. and I know it's going to take a good one test session to get used to it at the very minimum. So we've got to get the new combo worked out, get used to the transmission, hope the weather holds up enough for us to do it, you know.
Now, which car are you starting the season out with?
So I'm going to start the season with the gray car.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
Um,
and so you said you were getting two cars ready.
we are.
And how do you determine which car is doing what?
So my one of my teammates slash business partners is gonna race that orange car this year in the series with us. So we take care of the car. It's got all of our stuff in it, and as you know now, it's got your stuff in it, just like mine does. And we're gonna run both. We ran both cars at the end of the season, and he was kind of new to racing, and he did pretty dang good at the end of the season. Won a outlaw big tire event, and when we opened up everything in speed promotions, you know, everybody kind of talked, and they said, let's open up this deal to anything. Anybody can come race. Well, as soon as they said that and it wasn't an invite only, well, of course, my phone's blown up. He's calling me going, hey, I can make every one of those races this year. I want to race with you guys. So Carson Baker's his name. We spend a lot of time with him. Him and I have a store together in North Carolina, and and so naturally I'm there or he's down here, and he's just kind of became part of the team. Goes to every race with us, and now he's going to be racing every race with us.
Now,
So
what does that do for your team for like Javier and Steve Petty? What's they going to be doing both cars?
So we hired on a new crew guy. So you're familiar with the Laughlins, Alex Laughlin and Kenny Laughlin and those
Uh huh.
guys, I assume. Okay, so they I don't think are going to race any big tire stuff this year, and so Keith was taking care of all their stuff. Keith called me up, just good timing, called me up and said, "Hey, I've got a job opening, or I'm gonna. Do you have a job opening? I've got. Looks like I'm gonna be looking for work. They're gonna park one of the big tire cars. I think Kenny and Alex are doing a Janice deal." Where Janice is going to help them take care of their car in as far as pro mod. I think they're going to race pro mod stuff. It just kind of left him with no work. Well, at the same time, we were scrambling trying to find a crew guy, like a crew chief for this car. Avi's good, but he can't take care of both cars in a competitive level. You know, if
Right.
we're both going rounds, you just can't bounce back and forth. Ricky's my other crew guy, and he helps out dramatically, but neither one of those guys can take care of two cars as good as they can one car. So um, we hired Keith on. He hit the ground running Monday, and he's over there working right now as we speak, jamming this car together. Um, Ended up, as you know, installing most of your parts on it, as well as the Pro Charge Hemi combination. And so we've got a good program, in my opinion, as far as crew guys and how it's all going to work and all that stuff.
Okay, so both cars are starting out Pro Charge Hemi
Yep.
and Nitrous.
Yes, sir.
All right. So
My car's got a Liberty locked up tie drive, and that orange car's got a locked up Mark Mickey Turbo 400.
okay. So it'll be
Yep.
interesting seeing how they are the combos other than the transmissions really similar.
They are. Yeah, they're virtually identical. Like last year, they were identical. They both had turbo 400s in them. I wanted something, like look, the fields were getting so tight. You got and I love this and hate this. But with MPK, we went out and won our first championship. I don't know, with a Pro Charge deal. I think it was the first person to win a championship with a Pro Charge combo, and it was maybe 21. And that just started picking up, right? So it was everybody started like, hey, Hemi Pro Charger, Proline's phone starts ringing off the hook, and they sell that engine package that we ran to 20 other drivers in MPK. And now, I mean, literally, if you got 32 cars there, 20 to 25 of those are going to be Pro Charge Hemi 564s with 140-1s, and they're becoming almost cookie cutter. And when you've got a, like, when we won the first championship with that, it was we were the only ones doing it, and we were the ones to like really put time in to try to make it right. And Steve Petty was there with us the whole time. And, between all of us, I mean, we made that combo like unstoppable. But after a while, people figure that combo out. And so here we are 5 years down the road, 4 years down the road. And now I'm racing 20 cars that are identical to mine. And it's who can cut a light and who spins the tires, who's ballsy enough to throw more at it than the other guy. All these damn cars are the same. So I wanted to do something that would stand out, or just change it up enough to, like, you always trying to separate yourself from the next guy. And I don't know that a Liberty locked up tie drive will do that, but that was my gamble for the year, was let's put something in it that nobody else has got, that's nobody else is running. Like, everybody's got Liberties. There's other Liberty combos in NPK, but they're screw blown deals. I ran a screw blow deal last year for a while, and that's a finicky combination. And a lot of the guys with the Liberties had problems, not problems with necessarily the transmissions, but like there's a lot of room for driver error with those. You can forget to flip a switch or turn a button on, and then all of a sudden you're in the wrong gear and you broke the tranny or whatever, So I don't know how many of you guys have ever messed with those, but we're going to try it. It may be a learning curve that is an uphill battle for me, but I think it does have a performance advantage. But does the performance advantage outweigh the consistency of the 400? I don't know the answer to that yet.
I have a feeling you'll know within 2 races.
I think you're right. You're right. Yeah.
Now,
and I can tell you this.
Sooner.
I haven't. We got everything marked and on the shelf, sitting there ready to go as far as the 400 to go right back in it if I need to. So we'll see what happens.
Now, I'm kind of thinking with the rule changes, the class is going to be even faster this year.
It should. It should be. I personally think that I could say to where it's probably going to be 3 to 4 numbers faster than it was last year, in my opinion. And it could be more than that. I would be very shocked if it wasn't at least that. So you got cars, you're talking about cars dipping off well into the 60s that are still roof and quarters cars. Look, we're approaching very close ETs to Pro Mod combos.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, and these are all still roof and quarter cars. And we did, they did throw the weights out this year, but one of the things to think about is when you've got a steel roof and quarter combo car and you're building it to actual car specs, you really don't get a huge weight advantage that way, right? So like a steel roof and quarter car is still going to weigh what a steel roof and quarter car is going to weigh, and they're never going to be as light as a carbon body Pro Mod.
Right. Is that the biggest rule changes? Is the fact they opened up dual power adder and took away weights?
Yeah, truthfully, the motto for the year is kind of like outlaws doing outlaw things. Like what's more Street Outlaw, than having outlaw no rules. And I don't know about you, but personally, I used to love watching that stuff back in the day. All the crazy outlaw no rules series, whether it was nostalgia outlaw no rules or Pro Mod outlaw no rules or whatever. Those are the ones that are hanging the hoops the whole way. Just flames going down the track. I don't know. That I think it's.
Oh, we lost him.
Sorry, you there?
There you are.
Yeah, sorry about that. I got a call come in. So the biggest rule change is the fact that there are no rules. That's right.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
So you can do whatever you can come up with.
Yeah, I feel like there's going to be some people thinking outside of the box.
Absolutely. And so it'll be whoever came up with the best mathematical combination, and it worked.
Yeah. Or maybe the biggest nitrous jet. You never know.
Right. There you go. It's kind of crazy to think that a little bit more power is a $5 jet.
I know it, right? It is. It's always been crazy to think that. You can literally have a great, nice, efficient, good running combo, or scatter your car into a billion pieces with one nitrous jet change.
Just like that.
Yeah.
No doubt. Now,
oh yeah.
So there's a transition between the MPK series over to Speed Promotions. What can you tell us about that and kind of what's really happening here?
Okay, so basically, in a nutshell, you have OG MPK Street Outlaw stuff, and the formats are almost identical. The only difference is, in a nutshell, this is the best way to describe it. Discovery a year ish ago, 2 years ago, put MPK Street Outlaws on hold. They're not canceled. The ratings were great. Discovery was in some financial trouble, and our show is expensive. And when it came down to it, they were cutting corners to try to stay afloat, is what it appeared from the outside looking in. And they gave us the old, "Hey, we're not canceling you guys, but we need y'all to hang tight for a little bit." And so we all said, "Hey, we're gonna continue racing. That's not gonna change what we're doing." Uh, Sam Corcus, Pilgrim Studios, partnered up with Speed Promotions and said, "Hey, we have a good show here. This live event's great. People pile in to see us. We want to keep it going. Do you guys want to be part of it until Discovery figures out what the heck it is that they're doing, and or we end up on a different network?" And so basically, Speed Promotions partnered up on the live side of events and made it to where, number one, we continued, like, it didn't change. Like, honestly, it looks like it's changed from the outside looking in. For us, it hasn't changed at all. We still work with the same people. We still work for the same people. We still know that we got a schedule and we're going racing and we get to meet all of our awesome fans and all that. Literally nothing's changed for us. But the name behind it has changed, and it's made people speculate a lot of different things. But when it comes down to it, we're doing the same thing with the same people with a different backer on the live side.
That makes sense.
That's pretty much the long and the short.
So to watch the show, where do people watch the show now? Where do they watch a race?
Well, right now there is going to be a live stream type situation for it, and I can't tell you that right now. It was YouTube last year for a while, and then they squashed it for whatever reason. It's going to be up and live again this year, but as far as format goes, or where to tune in, I kind of think it's going to be back on YouTube, but I don't know that we'll know that for another few days. They're trying to finish things. I will tell you, in the future, there's right now, you got Locals Only on TV, and obviously that's doing pretty good. And then right behind Locals Only, you'll probably see MPK season 6 air, which hasn't aired yet. And all that TV has brought Discovery back into talks with putting us back on Discovery again.
Yes.
So
Kind of revived it for.
it did. I think it's given Discovery time to catch up and to probably get better, financially. I think it has also opened their eyes to see that people still watch the show, and I don't think they ever thought they didn't. I think that they just couldn't pull it off, and so that was the risk that they had to take to squash something somewhere. And it wasn't just our show. They went through and paused a whole bunch of shows. I'm glad they brought a version of Street Outlaws back, and it was a couple different versions, which is cool. Which, with Locals Only and MPK. But I can tell you that nobody's sitting idle. Like, they're pretty close to a streaming deal on one of your big, and I won't name names, but one of your bigger streaming networks. So I don't know where we end up at, but I'm about 80% sure we're going to end up back somewhere.
Yeah. So which is great. Sometimes as a business, we have to remember Discovery's a business.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to make some adjustments to stay alive.
Yeah, that's right. And you can't really. A lot of people got mad at them, and as somebody who's trying to, like, all we want to do is race, and let's be honest, we want to get raced and we want to get paid to race, and that's, they've turned us into racers that's what we know and that's what we do, and that was what everybody was used to, and there was a lot of people that were used to getting paychecks to do it, and a lot of us started out, we didn't get paychecks to do it, and when things got good, then it got good for us. But we tried not to. There was a lot of guys that were, and they're still doing it, that are jumping ship because, "Oh, if you're not paying me, I'm out." But we didn't start getting paid.
Right.
So we were just fortunate enough till we got to a point to where we did get paid, and hanging on to that's still going to be a possibility again, and I think it will. But look, if you love racing, you're going to go racing. It's not going to matter as long as you can afford it, you're going to go racing. So, you know, everything that all the Discovery, Pilgrim Studios, and all those people have done for all of us in the past, and given us places to race and crazy TV shows to be part of, and you know,
Where else can you race for 50?
yeah, I mean, where you know the biggest thing is where else can you go to a race? And I'll challenge you to ask you this because I don't know of anywhere. Where can you go to go race for a pot that's $40,000 on a Saturday?
Yeah, I mean they're getting fewer and farther behind. Between other than
Yeah,
some of the no time stuff right now, like Jake's
yeah,
race,
yeah,
Cody's
and
race.
yeah, and there's not many, but there's a couple. Like, where can let me rephrase it maybe. Where could you
Consistently.
go? Where could you go to a series that has 7 races in a series that has a points championship of probably $100,000 or more, and get to race for 40 grand every time?
Yeah,
You know,
no,
10,000 on Friday night, 40,000 on Saturday, and go towards $100,000 championship. Um, that's what is appealing to me. You know, I'm gonna go try to get some of that money.
yeah, no doubt, and not to mention the entertainment side of it for people that, I mean, it draws people in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's got to be just as rewarding as sitting in the winner's circle too. Sometimes just to know what you've accomplished and the following you have.
Yeah, no, I'm so thankful for the fans, and you know when you go to like listen, there's some races that are not as crazy busy as others, but you go to those races that are off the hook busy, and there's 15,000 people there, and there's a line, and it's not just mine, but there's a line at my trailer that goes the length of the football field for autographs and merch and things like that. It's humbling, and you got to be thankful for the fact that those people are there to watch you race, and it's something that we've all created. And when I say all of us, I mean every single person that has participated in MPK, Street Outlaws, everybody that helps put it together, like the whole thing, gives all these fans a place to go race. And I'm extremely thankful that we have those opportunities.
So seeing some of the racers move over to a different format of racing.
Yep.
Um, a lot of guys went pro mod. You see some guys going to some other small tire stuff. If 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 you were to stop racing the no prep series today, is there another type of format of racing that interests you?
We're building a pro mod car. I do think that the next step for me, if I wasn't doing this type of racing, there's two things that interest me a lot that I really enjoy, and that would be radial stuff. Um, I came from doing that before Street Outlaws for me ever existed. So we were racing in some back in the day. It was over a Dutch race. It was the class where everybody raced on 315s. Hobby, what they call that? I can't remember. RVW. Sorry, my brain's mush today. But yeah, we started in RVW. I love the RVW style racing. I like how busy that was. That event was always lights out or whatever. It was always tons of people. Reminds me of the MPK, the good MPK races now. Um, but we're building a new pro mod to probably compete in some PDRA and Winter Series stuff. I don't know that you'll see me racing NHRA this year or next year or anything like that, but the Winter Series looked pretty neat. Obviously, some of my guys that I race with, Murder Nova, Kai Kelly, just to name a few of the guys, Jimmy Taylor, Robin Roberts, those guys all jumped over and went racing. And it looked fun. I kept up with it quite a bit, and we were already building a car, not necessarily for that, but that's probably where it's gonna, we're probably gonna have it ready for that. I'll put it to you
Right.
like that.
You'll be there for the opportunity whenever it arises.
Yeah, that's right. And I'm also devoted to where I am, so I don't want to be a ship jumper. So we're gonna see where this thing takes us, and if there's racing to do where I am, that's where I'm gonna stay until there's not. And if there's not, then we're gonna be ready to do some other things.
Understandable. Now, what's the schedule for this year's so far? Have they given you the full schedule, or just some of it, or?
Yep, I've got the full schedule. It is on my social media. It's on my Instagram. It is pinned on my Instagram. And it's out there if you search up Speed Promotions or Outlaw 32 or anything like that. But the first, and I can't even remember it off. I'll be lying to you if I try to tell you
I
off the top
get
of my
it.
head. But I know that the first race is Bakersfield, Bakersfield, California, and that is I think 8th and 9th of next month. And then the following weekend we're off, and then the weekend after that we got to be in Virginia. Um, Past that, it's too far past that for my brain to understand it. So I just keep about two at a time. You know what I mean?
Right. I don't know how you guys bounce from state to state to state like that. That's a
across the country.
and have a home
Yeah,
life. That would be
it
difficult.
it is tough. Luckily, I have some good crew guys that sometimes will drive for me, and sometimes I can go fly to my son's baseball games or school outings and stuff like that. We've always made it work, um, and it gets tougher and tougher as my son is in sports, and I'm sure you guys know all that stuff. But as my son is in sports and all that, it gets you start figuring out what you prioritize and what is the most important thing and what's not. And sometimes skipping a test session and not being as sharp at the race causes me to I'll spend more time at home and probably less time in my car in the last couple of years for sure.
I think a lot of people forget that people like yourself have a family at home and a family life, and that's always number one. That should always be number one.
It
And to
is always
balance
number one.
both of them, especially as your kids are in sports or they got
Yep.
upcoming programs, some of those things you miss, and it's got to weigh on you.
Well, number one, everybody says it. You always get. You mean you'll never get that stuff back. Your kid's only going to be 6 years old once, and you're playing t-ball, and your kid's only going to be 7 years old once, at taking his first pitch behind coach pitch, and those are the things that you're probably. I love racing, and that's what that's why I've been able to do all the stuff that I've been able to do. But racing's always going to be around. Your kids at 6 and 7 and 8 years old are not always going to be around.
Right.
They're going to turn 8 and 9 and 10 and go to those other first things that they do, and you're going to try to be around to those things. And uh, you know, I just told myself I've been able to do most whatever I wanted to do. I'm in my 40s now, and I've been able to do whatever I want to do until then. And priorities just change, and things are different. And for me, I think honestly, truthfully, I think my season showed that last year because I wasn't able to test and make sure the car was as good as it should have been, and those things because I just wouldn't do it and miss some of his games and some of his school things and stuff like that. And we didn't do as well as we normally do. Competition definitely got harder, but also I wasn't there putting in, me and my crew, we weren't there putting in the hours that we normally put in because I chose to go back home and go to some of those games and things.
And you do it again, right?
I would do it again. Probably going to do it
Absolutely.
again this year. Hopefully,
Absolutely.
we're going to do better this year. And my plan is to be smarter on some things and utilize my time better. But yeah, I won't. I feel like from here on out, he's just going to get more busy, and life will get more busy for me. And so we'll see how all that stuff goes. The
Absolutely.
the,
That
the
that's
saving
that's
grace
when
for me this year is that one thing that Street Outlaws slash Pilgrim Studios slash now Speed Promotion did that really was hard for a lot of us is like a 20 race schedule.
it's a lot.
And a 20 race schedule, it's hard to have a life, much less fly back and forth, be able to afford to do it and all that type of stuff. It's just tough. This year, the schedule is so much better this year. Now, there's some driving that is still a little bit tough, but that's just part of it. But it's a 12 race series instead of 20. And so, look, my math right away went to, hey, that's 8 weekends a year that I'm going to have the opportunity to be at home. That's great. Uh, but also the way they split up and they made it to where we got two small tire races that are big, and we have three Canada races that are big, but those are separate than the big tire series. So, and I'll be at every one of those, but not everybody will be. So basically, what that did is it allowed people to spend more time at home, less time on the road, and I think that was a fantastic move that they did. That's really going to help actually get racers to follow the season more religiously because there's less races to follow.
Absolutely. Sometimes it's just too much is too much.
Too much is too much. Like, look, we all liked, I'm not going to lie, love the merch sales. Like, going to 20 events, there's a lot of pluses, right? So you get to sell merch at 20 events. You get to see your fans at 20 events. You get to, if you're getting paid, you get paid 20 times. Like, there's a whole bunch of good stuff when it comes down to it. But the other side of it is we're literally not having a life for a year. So we all make sacrifices for the things that we do. Sometimes they're worth it and sometimes they're not. And that just is the truth.
Yep. Now, I'll tell you what. Where your social media for people that surely everybody already knows, but where would they find you?
Fireball Camaro on pretty much everything. Fireball Camaro on Instagram, Fireball Camaro on Facebook, Fireball Camaro on TikTok. We're on all social media platforms. YouTube, Fireball Camaro. Yeah, so we're pretty much everywhere that you can think of when it comes to social media, and we try to make the tag as easy as possible. Fireball Camaro.
There you go. Now, is there
Yep.
anything you wanted to cover before we wrap this up?
No, man, just I appreciate the partnership. Thanks for coming on board to our team to give us something cool to give us an addition to our program that I think is going to be really beneficial. I have a feeling you'll be getting more phone calls for this exact same thing. I'm sure that we're not the only people to think about this. I know some other guys that are doing it, but there's some that haven't. So I appreciate you and always answering my phone calls when I call.
Well, we know that
For sure.
we're not the only choice in the industry, but I can, speaking for my staff here and myself, we're honored that you chose us to work with out of all the other options out there, and we appreciate that.
Well, thanks, man. I appreciate you. Appreciate you saying that. Same to you. Thanks for having faith in me that I'm going to do good with it. So we'll see. Hopefully, I'll make you proud.
How was the install?
Man, it wasn't bad.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't bad. It was, the mechanical side of it was easy. It's bottle, line, solenoid, nozzle, right? So
Did you
like
get
that's
a preview
pretty dang simple. And I'm always weight conscious, so we're always trying to. Dave knows. Him and I talked about. We kind of did our own thing with the bracket a little bit just to try to cut some weight out of it, even though that bracket's really nice and light. But overall, simple, easy, clean. As always, man. You guys' stuff is always nice, and it never disappoints.
Well, we sure appreciate it, and
Yeah.
we'll be rooting you on from a distance.
Yeah, for sure. And I'll make sure you know how testing goes and give you some numbers on those, let you know how it works. And I know you'll be hearing from me for some questions, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, the good thing is you've used nitrous before, so you weren't
Yep.
totally new to it.
That's right. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, we had a lot of fun with our little nitrous big block 69 combo when we shot the OG show, when we all went to the daily driver type things, and
you
we
did
had all
really
your
well
stuff
there.
on. We did, yeah, we did really well. Like, we always joke around about me not being a nitrous guy, and then we kind of slapped a kid on and with your guidance kind of did some things that we weren't really used to, but it worked out good and we did good. The car ran good. So yeah, it was fun.
So, all right. Well, thanks for coming on with us today, and we wish you luck at testing.
Thank you. I'll be in touch. I appreciate everything.
All right. Thanks, sir.
See you, buddy.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
That was a good interview.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew it would be.
Yeah.
So,
Ryan's good.
There you go. There's the inside scoop of what's going on with MPK to
Now
Speed
you know.
Promotions, right?
Now you know.
Yeah, now you know. I think we've about covered everything.
Yeah, that was everything.
Yeah, so nice short. I mean, we knocked the show out in an hour. That's pretty good. Pretty good.
And we're late.
Don't forget to tune into our Facebook group, Clash of the Titans,
Clash of the Titans.
450-ish, right?
Yes.
It's Nitro Dave's Clash of the Titans because there's Titans 10-5. There was an old Clash of the Titans.
Yeah.
And there's some other Titan stuff that's out there. But so look for Nitro Dave's Clash of the Titans.
Yeah.
And we have a page and a group. But the group allows open discussion.
Yeah.
Right? The page just kind of outlines the series and when the events are. But all that information is also on there. You can read up on the rules of the class, the race event, how the point series work, what the payouts are for each race, and the race schedule.
Mm-hmm.
So we would love for you to come race with us. It's going to be a very competitive series, and it's going to be a fun series.
Oh yeah.
It's going to be a fun series. So thanks for tuning in to this week's show of What's Up?
What's up?
What's Up? So, and we'll see you next week, Wednesday, 11 p.m. No, a.m.
AM.
11 a.m. Central
Hey,
Time.
easy now.